digital countdown doesn't make a sound, but on military radars across the globe, it signals a window that is rapidly closing. On a Tuesday night in 2026, that signal arrived as a social media ultimatum. President Trump warned that a whole civilization will die tonight unless the Strait of Hormuz was reopened immediately. In the Middle East, the threat was already physical. Missiles were locked on their targets, with crews waiting for the final order to launch. The lives of millions of people were now tied to a single, unchecked decision. 40 days into the standoff, lawmakers in Washington were scrambling to find a way to intervene. Representative John Larson filed 13 articles of impeachment, a desperate attempt to stop what he called an illegal war before the first strike. The rhetoric on the floor turned grim. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez publicly described the president's threat as an intent to commit genocide. But the outrage revealed a deeper problem. Congress was discovering it had no legal mechanism to actually stop the launch. The authors of the Constitution were specific. They vested the power to declare war strictly within the legislative branch to ensure no single person could trigger a conflict. After the heavy toll of the Vietnam War, Congress passed the War Powers Resolution, intending to permanently lock the president's hands. But over the next 50 years, the executive branch found a way around the lock. They simply stopped calling these conflicts wars. In 1983, the invasion of Grenada was framed to the public not as combat, but as a rescue mission. 6 years later, the invasion of Panama was categorized as a law enforcement action to bring Manuel Noriega to justice. By the time the Obama administration began using unmanned drone strikes, the rebranding was complete. Since no U.S. troops were in direct danger, the government argued congressional approval wasn't necessary. By changing the vocabulary of conflict, the executive branch had successfully bypassed the constitutional check. This data shows a recurring pattern. Almost every major spike in authorized military force over the last 30 years aligns with a specific milestone in a president's domestic political scandal. The timing was particularly visible in 1998, during the presidency of Bill Clinton. As his House impeachment vote approached, Clinton ordered sustained airstrikes on Iraq. The crisis forced Congress to delay the vote for 2 days. In 2020, the pattern repeated. Donald Trump ordered the strike on an Iranian general the day before the Senate reconvened for his impeachment trial. It suggests a terrifying possibility. The threat of impeachment may actually encourage a president to use force. Returning to the 2026 standoff, the administration was no longer trying to bridge the gap. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller dismissed international norms entirely, stating the world is governed by one thing: power. When the Secretary of Defense refused to testify under oath about the Iran crisis, the last link to congressional oversight was broken. The internal safeguards of the American government were no longer responding. The executive branch was operating on its own. The 40-day deadline expired, and the expected military strike never came. But it wasn't the U.S. Constitution that prevented the war. It was a frantic, last-minute diplomatic push from the outside. Pakistan, China, and Turkey worked together to secure a 2-week ceasefire, pulling both sides back just hours before the deadline. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif acted as the primary mediator, opening the back channels that allowed the U.S. executive to walk back from the threat. The crisis was resolved, but the experience left the structural weakness of the American system exposed. If the laws of a superpower can no longer restrain its leader, the question isn't how the next crisis starts. It's who is actually left to stop it.